So when you stand in front of the mural, you're right here. The symbol. All right, we're at Window Rock, continuing the Dream Quest from Fort Wallace. I'm gonna overlap Window Rock with my last video. We kind of double down so people can follow along maybe a little easier. So we had our cowboy. Damn it, look at these birds, man. What are you guys doing up here? I don't need you though, so you're lucky. This guy and this guy. Man, so many birds. Go like a couple missions into chapter 2, and it feels like there's more birds than ever. So, let's pause it there. 2 birds. A rock. Cowboy made of rocks between the 2 birds, pointing to between the 2 birds. It's important because our tiles on the roof, shingles, were separated, right? 1 bird on each. I don't think I have the picture anymore. No, I don't. We don't need to go in here. I would have deleted it, right? Yeah, it's long deleted. Long deleted. Right. Anyway, you get a tile or shingles with a space separating the 2 birds. Then you come here, you get a cowboy pointing to the space between the 2 birds. It's also relevant because an empty space on the mural, right? There should be another little guy here or something. You got a blank space on it. We'll walk by, I'll show you guys again. So again, a blank space. We are the blank space, right? Because I'll do it one more time. John, Arthur, Red Dead Online, GTA Online, Michael, Trevor, Franklin, and a blank space. A blank space is us. We are the one that connects all these characters, right? The player, the person with the controller. Kind of like God, in a way, to the game. I'm not saying I am a god. I'm just saying in the game, you're kind of the god of Arthur or John, right? You control them. This blank space represents you. All these other spaces represent the character. Put yourself here. We're all one. We're all part of the circle, right? We come up here. We go to the between the 2 eagles. We get to our high point. We learn that at the Hortland oil fields. Go to the high point. Go to the center. We learn that from the spider. We are the blank space in the middle. Right? Doesn't that make sense to a lot of people? Like, yeah, we're the space between John and Arthur. We're the space between the characters. Like, we're the connection. So you get up here, ramping us up, pointing us in a new direction. You can even fall down here. Why do you want to fall down here? Great question. Maybe we don't want to fall down here. I thought we did. I thought you could sit here. There we go. Right. Take a leap of faith. And we got caught here. A nice little sitting spot. Well, look where it's looking. Look where the sitting spot points us. Down fucking river again. Okay. So on top of these birds here that I say are the river, We go to the top. We get pointed in a direction. It points us downriver. You can see it's like right in front of me. Right there. That's the direction I've been saying for 6 months. We gotta go, and here's more reasons pointing us in that direction. Alright, so our clues all overlapped. Got us to Window Rock. Try and get down. I don't know how. This way? Yeah, this way it works. Alright, so that's how we got here. Probably missing some stuff because I'm not prepared for this shit anymore. I just realized I gotta make another one of these longer ones, so I'm just gonna try and bang it out. I'm gonna miss a lot of details, but I'm gonna tell you enough stuff to point you in the right direction, and watch the other videos. I'm sure you'll find other things that I point out that I won't be mentioning here that also say the same shit. Man, the birds are like in slow motion. Something is up with the birds in this chapter right now. Okay, let's get back to... And I bet, yeah, I could... Yeah, you can. Watch this. We're gonna go out of bounds. See? We're in the rock. There's all these little nooks, man, and the nooks are there on purpose so that you can do this. The reason you want to do this, I don't know, but it's designed that way. I found several spots. This isn't one of them because normally they point you to it. It's like you end up in this little hole in the fuck. Look, there's a fucking dick right here. Right, we're looking at the underside of a dick here. We wouldn't have been able to see that from the outside, too. It wouldn't look like a dick from the other side. Yeah, so we're in a rock right now, man. You tell me that doesn't look like a fucking cowboy right there? Fuck off. That's a cowboy. Alright. Let's get out of our hole. Go back to the mural, see if I got anything to say there. This area here, too, it's like, you know, you come up, you go past the mural. If you're, like, savvy enough to walk past it and not get distracted by it, not think it's part of the mystery, literally just start walking around here. And then this space here serves no purpose. You'd be like, Marcus, a lot of spaces serve no purpose. Not true. Every space has a purpose in this fucking game, man. Every single, like, acre of land holds a secret or a story, or it's part of a trail. Every single thing. You have this area here that's nothing. You can't pick anything here. You don't find any animals here to hunt or anything. Just a space that leads you to this fucking cowboy, man. And the cowboy's the biggest sign you guys have gotten so far. And this is gonna be a bit of a humble brag, but like, I found that fucking cowboy like 8 years ago. Right, you get these weird noises here. Weird ghost noises. Right. So the eagle's in the middle. So this is the spirits, right? Like, because whenever you change character, you see the clouds or the sky. So, say this is John. Let's go back to GTA. So say this is Michael. I want to switch to Trevor. Then I go up into the clouds. This guy here. And then we come back down. It's Trevor. I want to be Franklin. We go up into the clouds. And it's represented by this guy here. We come back as Franklin. GTA Online. Up to the clouds. Back to GTA Online. Metaphor kind of falls apart because you're not in the clouds when you go from GTA to Red Dead, but it's, you know what I'm trying. You know what I mean, people. You know what I mean. What's that one? I never noticed that one up there. This one. This red one here. An alligator, maybe? The glitch of paint, like right above this thing, too. This one's glitched out, like. Glitched out. These aren't glitches. Oh, really? Not glitches. You got a glitch rock right here, man. It's part of the trail. The rock is there. You wouldn't notice it until you go all around the fucking map following the spider trail, and then it turns into a glitch trail, and then you end up back here, and you're like, oh fuck, there's a glitched out rock there. That's part of the trail. But that is like a million steps ahead of where we are right now, but I'm just pointing it out now. Here's the other thing I say every time we're here too. I create a video game, this giant, massive world, and I want to send a secret message to the people playing it. Do I use this? These crayons? Scribbles on the wall? Or do I use this, man? Use all this. This is how you send a fucking message. Look at that view. You want to tell me something? You tell me it here. You want to tell a 5-year-old something? You want to tell a little kid something? You tell them here. Right. These are alphabet refrigerator magnets. That's what this shit is. Right. This is the Louvre. It's the best fucking museum you've ever been in. That's what all the rest of this is. Have fun with your fucking magnets. And that's Window Rock. We'll head down to Dodes, I guess. Make a quick stop there. Watch the train go over the bridge, because I like that. Look at that. It's so cool. It's like you're living in one of those model train worlds that, like, some old man would play with. I hope my horse finds his way. So, I'm taking this way. Ooh, head first.
Shit.
Alright, we'll go down to Dodds. So yeah, window rock. Through the window. Like a rock. It is a rock window made of rocks. Yes. It also means go through it like a rock through a window. 2 canoes. Just sitting here. Pointing us. Downriver. I'm nowhere near the Eagle Falls mission, but those canoes are already there. They're always there. This guy. Get out of here. It's an interesting hat you have on there, sir. You don't often see dudes riding with these hats.
Find another road.
It's got an interesting voice, too.
¿Qué estás haciendo? It ain't that bad, okay? Eres medio imbécil, ¿verdad? Ah, just get lost.
Must be nice. Alright, we got oh, shit. Son of a bitch. I was chasing that skunk. Oh well. Dodds. Whatever this shit's called, man. An eagle? Why won't you tell me what you are? Focus. Alright. Oh my god, something's sneaking up on me. Is it the fucking snake again? I can hear him. There he is. Fuck you. Alright, so like a rock through a window till the sweat pours down your balls. Ooh, I'll skeet. Look at that. That's cool. Just another mark. Yeah, go through the window. Go like a rock through a window. End up here. Tree stump here. I thought there was like a big rock here too or something, but yeah, end up here. Instead of going up and around, you're like, oh, screw it, man. I'll just skip window rock, because we know what all that means, so I'll go below it. And then you end, because you follow the guitar that pointed you here, right? So you end up at Dodds instead of the top there at Window Rock, and all the signs that point you downriver. You end up here. You get this wheelbarrow that's pointing you downriver, weighted in the front, so you give it a little push. It'll go that way, downriver. Back here, we're gonna find a ladder, right? Can't climb on the roof, can't climb the ladder, but the ladder is pointing that away. Right. You might say, oh, it's not pointing that way. Yeah, it is. This is the top of the ladder. I can tell because that's shorter than that side, and that's how ladders work. I don't know why, that's just how they work. Used a lot of ladders. Short side on the top. So yeah, that points you down a river. Now let's go in the cabin. And these things kind of point you down a river too. This is all the whole side of the building there. You're like, oh, but they're just leaning against the wall. Well, this one's got a trap, and it's leaning against the wall, so I wouldn't say a trap is pointing me anywhere. But I would say that this thing is pointing me. I'd say that whatever this thing is pointing me. Right, this used for sifting gold, I believe. The shovel is also pointing that way. This fishing pole is also pointing that way. So you get all this shit on this side pointing that way. You know, okay, coincidence, but then you got a trap on this side pointing the opposite way. Right? Why I'm emphasizing trap here. Maybe I'm not clear on that, but a trap isn't pointing you because it's a trap to trap you. So if you went that way, you're trapped. You're going the wrong way. Over here, you get all this shit All these cool things pointing you that way. Alright, that's the outside of Dodds. Dodds has one window. Just went through a window, like a rock through a window. So maybe there's some symmetry here. Maybe this window is a smaller representation of that big rock window. And if we look through it, it also points us down a river. Oh my god. Wow, it's like we should be going down river or something. Like if you follow the signs and the clues, they all point. Wow, man. I never realized that. I'm just being facetious. Been saying this since fucking January, everybody. So, downriver. You also got some shit under the bed here that points you downriver, right? This was covered in another video, but we'll reiterate it here while I remember everything. Trying to get as much in here as possible. And I'm fucking stuck. Let's do this. Camera sometimes, man. Let go, Arthur. Thank you. You piece of shit. Alright. Boom. See, these things point in. One coming in this way, one coming in this way. They make an arrow or have part of a triangle. They point to the window, which we established when you look through the window. It points you. Where's the point? Oh, I'm not looking at it. As we established when you look through the window, it points you where? Where is this pointing? Downriver. These two birds here. One bird is this M here, this bend here, this bend that comes down. It's like the hook and the M. And this one too. That's the other M. You can look at them from the other side and they'd be W's, because that's how letters work. Okay, so two birds, Fort Wallace, two birds, top of Window Rock, two birds on the river. All of them had a space between them. Sorry, not all of them, but the ones on this roof had a space between them. The ones on Window Rock had a space between them with a cowboy pointing to the space between them. We are a cowboy. We also had this missing space here, which represents us. Okay. We had all this shit at Dodds pointing us downriver. But anyway, what was I trying to say there? So you get your space between the two tiles, and you have your space between the two birds at the top of Window Rock. And now you have your space between the two birds that are on the river. So, you know, it's safe to say clues overlap, usually in threes. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go here. Between the two birds, again, mirroring what we're doing here. Mirrors are important in the world of Red Dead Redemption. So that's our next stop. For all the reasons I just said. Then watch the other video where we start from Butcher's Creek. You'll understand the overlapping of everything. Layering. Is there a dead animal over here? What did I kill? Oh, a snake. I'm stretched out, man. I need my horse. I'm gonna have to set up camp or something. Oh, I should just take the canoe. What am I doing? Set up the camp down there. Tear down. Alright, where are we? We are... Oh man, we're real fucking close. Alright, that worked out.
Shit.
Oh, why? You're supposed to show up here, man. Oh, I want to jump.
Where you gone?
What the fuck? I don't even know where that other one is. Well, I need my goddamn horse, guys, so I'm gonna have to reload or something. Oh, why wouldn't he show up at camp, man? What is going on? He's not out of range. He's right there.
Damn horse.
Damn fucking horse. Alright. Save and reload. I don't know if that's the one I loaded. Is that the one I loaded? And we'll do that one. We'll do. Look, they're all like the same day. That's close enough. All right, load. Get my horse. Anybody watching this? This was supposed to be privated, but I forgot to do it. If anybody is watching this and they're wondering, that's how I make the videos. I just stream all the shit and say all the shit, and then I edit it all later. Now is my fucking horse here? It's not. God damn motherfucking horse, man. Maybe it is.
Damn it.
Oh. You're right there. You can make it. I can probably see him. Yeah, I can see the shadow. There he is. Is that me? Where's the saddle? Oh, he's got it. Come on, buddy. I'm still looking for the sleep train. That ain't it. Is it? No. Get here. He'll catch up. He's on his way now. There we go.
Okay.
God damn you. Oh, fuck you been, man. Alright, here we go. Alright, giant turkey time, again. Okay, so I didn't take the canoe, but I'll point it out again in this video. When you do take the canoe, it kind of stops right here. Like you don't have to paddle until you get to about here. And you have these rocks here with the spaces between them, and they kind of act like seaports. And a place for you to park your canoe. Alright, and you got these rocks here. These connect to us later, but I'll point them out now. They look like they got like a dimple, like a hole in them. There's another one. There's a couple here. It's over here somewhere. Yeah, right there. Right, so it's right in the middle of the screen there. I can't get any closer from here. It's another one. It's got a hole. I call them vagina rocks because they represent being birthed. None of that is relevant right now. Like we're just here because of the two birds on Window Rock, and we're looking for our next sign. And we came down the river between the two birds, and we don't really know what we're doing. We're kind of on like a wild goose chase at this point. And I'm looking all over the wood and the trees. And I'm looking for like tally marks or some shit or something. And I don't find it. Because I'm not supposed to find it, because we're past the tally marks. We're well past the tally marks, right? Our last symbols were rocks, predominantly rocks, right? Cowboy with rocks, window rock. The birds are sitting on the rock. So it makes sense that our next symbol is a rock. And that's what this is. It's a turkey. It's two turkeys. So you have a hand turkey. That's this top layer here. The one he's standing on directly would be like a hand turkey, one little kids would make or would draw, right? Something maybe Jack might draw with his hand on Thanksgiving, making a turkey. And yes, it is a little abstract, but it's there. Use your imagination a little bit. It's a hand turkey. And you zoom out and you get like a full cooked turkey. The hand turkey kind of transforms into like what would be like the leg of the turkey. If you picture like a cartoon cooked goose or a cartoon cooked turkey, right? That's what this is here. This is the same shapes. It's covered in trees and grass and moss and shit. So you got to kind of look through all that to see it, but it is there. All right, so this was our next sign after Window Rock. Now, the reason I know it's a turkey is because it's on a cigarette card. Cigarette cards are clues. We learned that at the spider. That's how they figured out to go to the center of the spider. They took the image of the cigarette card, overlaid it, and it ended up in the same places as the spider on the cigarette or on the pole. Okay, so we know cigarette cards are clues. This was another one. We were stuck. So I pulled out my cigarette cards and I found a turkey. Right, but what the fuck do you do with that, man? It's just a giant turkey in the middle of the river. Well, from there, what I deduced was I'm on a giant turkey. A turkey is a bird. I started looking for cooked turkey, cooked birds. I figured you'd have to keep following the river because like the guitar pointed us to these birds that are the river, and then I kind of thought, okay, well maybe these birds are pointing me downriver still, and they were. They're pointing you here to this gooseneck where you meet the preacher. This is a gooseneck, so I'm on a turkey, and if I look farther down the river, I see a gooseneck. Right, connected still, right? Turkey, goose, Thanksgiving, birds, centers. Turkeys are the center of Native Americans, pioneers coming together. Goose. So my original thought, the first time I ever did this, was this shape here. So I'm going to take this road around Downs Ranch. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to draw an imaginary line here and take this part, come around the river, back down here. And in my mind, what I saw was a goose, like a cooked goose or a cooked turkey. And I figured that out from standing here just by looking at the map. I knew we had to look at the map to find our clues because that's what was happening. Center of the spider, then the guitar to zoom out. Right? Even at Butcher's Creek, we have to zoom out to see. You get a pentagram under the floorboards, but to make the pentagram here, you kind of got to zoom out and see it on the map made out of the outhouses, right? Like you know it's a pentagram because you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's a pentagram right there. But it's not until you zoom out on the map where you're like, oh, okay, they're in the 5 places where the 5 points of the star would be for the pentagram. And so we've been, again, more things we learned that we can use here. So I'm here and I'm going, okay, I got to zoom out on my map. And I'm probably looking for a turkey or a goose because that's how the symbols worked. I got a guitar, double birds, double birds, double birds. So, and then that landed me on a turkey or a goose. So in my mind, I was looking for a turkey or a goose at the end of the 2 birds because guitar leads us to the 2 birds, right? Connected. So I figured there's a goose or something connected down here, and that's what I found. I found this one, and I decided that this, about there, is the middle. And I don't know what the fuck I was doing back then. This all makes way more sense to me now, but back then, I was just winging it, right? I was just following this loose strand of connectivity and coincidences. So I'm on a wild goose chase, thrown through a window, sent on a wild goose chase. We're going to end up down here and in this goose. Okay. More of the triangulation, just to point out, I covered this in another video, but when you stand on this turkey here that I'm standing on, it points you over to Siska Penitentiary, which means bird. Siska means bird. Penitentiary on an island is a rock. So again, we got a rock bird rock thing here. And this guy kind of points you up this way, right? Up to around this area. And then this island here, you can't tell from the map, but if you go stand on it, it looks, again, like a turkey or a goose, like the one we're standing on. And it is made of rocks. So there's a triangle of rock bird things. All right. And that's, watch my other videos about land surveillance. You'll see that triangulation is what we're doing here. Right? Connecting 3 clues to make 1 clue and then move on. So I connected Fort Wallace birds to the eagle birds on the window rock to the birds on the river. There's a triangulation. Just like science, land surveillance, all that shit. Right. Go back to Butcher's Creek. We have 1 tally mark. We have 2 tally marks. We have 3 tally marks. We have 4 tally marks. That means absolutely fucking nothing. They're just lines. We got the 5th one, and we went, oh, these are tally marks. We need more than 1 clue to make a clue. I don't know. That's all I got to say for this fucking place now, because I'm so sick of coming here and explaining this to people. Yeah, I know I seem crazy. That's the fucking game. That's how it's designed. It's designed to make the guy who figured it out look fucking crazy. But I did it. So I'm fucking crazy. Take that label now. But yeah, so we're heading to the middle of the goose. Once we get to the middle of the goose, I'll realize it's not a goose, and it's a million other things, but they all make sense. But you have to think, you have to believe it's a goose, man. You have to, like, again, I'm taking a leap of faith here, right? I'm like, that thing doesn't really look like a goose. Like, even the first time I was doing it, I was like, I'm here. I know I gotta find what I think is a goose down here. Here's another reason I thought it was a goose, too, is because this always looked like a goose to me. This fucking area here that Arthur can't go to. This would be like the head, this Blackwater area, and then this was the goose's body, and it was red, and it was like a cooked goose. And then this right here is like the same shape, man. Like this would be New Austin, this area. Right? And then right here you got like your tall trees and your Blackwater, where Lucky's cabin is. Right? So that's another reason I know this isn't the middle where we're going right there. Like the middle is like here or something. I don't know, but like that to me is the middle because it's between here. Right? These are the same fucking shapes, man. And I think there's like something too where they refer to New Austin as like a cooked goose or something too. So that's another, like I made the connection in the dialogue somewhere in the past. So then when I was up here looking for a goose or a turkey, notice this was shaped like New Austin. That must be where I want to be. Also, it's at the end, like the guitar neck that pointed us to Window Rock. We want to go to the end of the guitar neck, and we got to Window Rock. Maybe we want to go to the end of the birds. And there's a gooseneck at the end of the birds, so that's another reason I thought I'd find a symbol there. And that's another thing I want to say now too. So it's like, you know, birds, things are changing, right? Like we had a guitar before we ever had birds. We got a guitar, and then we got 2 birds. And then we didn't get any more guitars except for this big one that points us down the river to 2 more birds. And then that was like the last guitar we got, right? So maybe this big giant bird that is the river is going to be the last birds we get, at least for a while. Maybe we're not looking for a bird clue, is what I'm saying, when we get to the center of the goose. Maybe it's going to be something totally different. And it is. Why are there dead animals falling from the sky? Did I kill these fucking things? I didn't kill this shit. It's a dog. Is that a dog? Oh, I did kill these guys. I remember you now. That's your skin on my horse right there, buddy. I got your ears right here. Can you hear that?
Doing okay, girl.
Fuck, which way am I going? Let's run this way.
We're getting there, ain't we?
Fucking snakes. Alright, autopilot.
Doing just fine without you. Let's keep it that way. Out of the damn way!
Be gone. Be gone. Be gone. Be gone.
All right, we're back.
Well done. Good girl.
So, 2 bridges. Okay, under 1 bridge. Something I forgot to point out at the last one. 2 bridges. Right, you get your land bridge here, land crossing. And you had this man-made bridge over here above it. So you find yourself between the 2 bridges. There's a bridge above us. There's a branch there. We're between the 2 bridges. 2 crossings. And now I gotta find my fish. I haven't been here in like 6 months. It's gonna take me a minute. I think he's that way. I think he was this way. I should just pull up my old video and see exactly where it was. So there's like a ton of fish in here, but I don't bother showing you guys those because nobody. You really abstract shit. It's a whole school of fishies, so. Okay. Stand. Oh, I think it's here. So we're not between the 2 bridges, but they're there. Is all I was really trying to point out there. This is him. Seems. No, maybe he is in between them. Yeah, this doesn't seem. Oh, there he is. Okay. This guy. Look, it's a fish, man. Fish, man. Alright, so this is the fish's head. This is his eye. Zoom out. It's his whole head. Zoom out a little more, you get a tail. And that's his tail. This is his body. Connects to his tail fin here. Connected to his body. Connected to his head. Alright, let's do that again because I think that's the best way to see it. So we're in his eye. We zoom out. There's a head. Right, like that's his eye. That's his little mouth. Right, there's a fish head. And you got his body, his little tail there, and then the tail fin. Hey, but what the fuck does that mean, right? Because we got here by birds. So what do we do with a fish? Well, how does that connect us to the last one? Well, it's on a rock. So right there we got something. Right, fish on a rock. Turkey or birds are on a rock. Window rock. 2 birds on a rock. We found a bird made of rock. 2 birds made of rock. Now we're here with a fish on a rock. And this fish here has a giant eye. Right? Like proportion-wise, this is a pretty big eye on that fish. Let's go to our map. Got shorts about this. Explain it a lot better, but right now we're kind of in the eye of this giant fish here on the map. There's a giant fish on the map. This would be his tail fin here in this part here. His tail fin comes up here. Valentine is like his top fin, his dorso fin here. This little area of land right here, that's like his side fin thing. If you don't believe me, I'll give you a better visual. Okay. It's that fish. A little bit of a different angle. Right. See that top fin there? That's Valentine. It's just mirrored, right? So flip them the other way. Top fin there is Valentine. There's a little side fin there I was pointing out. It's tail fin. Right. We know cigarette cards are clues. Please don't make me repeat why they're clues. We know they're clues. So when we're stuck, we go to our cigarette cards and we find we are in a fish right here that looks like a cigarette card. And we are in his eye. And we're looking at a fish with a giant eye. What do you do with that, right? So first of all, I want to point out we got two fish now, right? So I'm looking at a rock that has a fish on it, and now we zoom out and we have a fish on our map. So we got two fish. What we do though, the fish on the map, it curves, right? And if you follow the curve of the fish, it actually points to another fish. That is this island. And this fish is looking up, like looking north, right? Got a big ass jaw for some reason, but ignore the bird. Or find a fish on the rocks, we find a fish on the map, and then the fish on the map points us to this fish on the map that is an island shaped like a fish, and the fish has a giant eye. Right? And the fish I'm looking at here has a giant eye, so maybe that's connecting me. Not even maybe, it is connecting me, right? And I get it's hard to follow because we went from birds to fish, but that's why this part here is the leap of faith, right? We went on a wild goose chase. They flipped us to double bird. Here at Fort Wallace, they said, fuck you. Here's two birds. Flip us to double bird. Threw us through a window. Sent us on a wild goose chase. And then rewarded us with a fish. A giant fucking fish. Right? Now we're going to ride this fish. Great beast. Like Jonah in the Bible, we're going to ride it. And we're going to land in the eye of another fish, aka God, in the eye of God. It is right here. Okay, so Fort Wallace, two birds. Made a guitar that pointed us to two more birds. Blank spaces pointed us to go between the two birds, which brought us down here to this blank space between the two birds. All right. Keeping everything connected, we see a gooseneck at the end of our two birds. And we find what I said was a cooked goose that resembled the shape of New Austin, which is also a cooked goose. Right? It's the desert. It's shaped like a goose. It's a cooked goose. We end up in the middle of that. Same shape. We're in the middle of it. We find a fish on the rocks to connect us to our birds made of rock, which we were led to by birds on a rock, pointed to us by a cowboy made of rocks. That's how we got down here to the fish on the rocks. And we matched that to a cigarette card on our map that looks like a fish on the cigarette card that points us to another fish. We will now go to that other fish. And maybe that's why. Yeah, that's why I thought. Oh, that's weird. What's going on with my map there? You're going to make me loop around? But that makes sense. You go in a lot of loops, right? Like a spider web. It's got a loop. Make a knot or something. I don't know how spider webs work. Do they just stick or do they loop and knot? Anyway, in order to get there, we gotta go under those double bridges, right? We don't have to, but that's the ideal direction. We're gonna go under this bridge. Yeah, I know it's just a tree, but it's also a bridge. Do you were a squirrel trying to cross, that would be a bridge. And then another bridge. We just got connected by 2 bridges. Right, why is that important? You'll see in a minute. We found our turkey between these 2 bridges, the land crossing and the man-made bridge. We find our turkey. And we went to our fish, and we're going to head to our next fish. But on our way to the next fish, we had to go underneath 2 bridges. So, double bridge, right? Any old people, card players? Double bridge, right? It's a thing. And now we're gonna loop around and cross the bridge.
Evening. You'll be okay. There you go.
I didn't mean to feed him that. I hope he doesn't die.
Who's a good horse?
Here. The carrot real quick.
You, miss. Good job, lady. That's a girl. Hang in there, girl. Nice filly.
What the fuck was that horse? That wasn't me. Ooh, horsies. Anything I want? Saddlers? That's it? Paint? I don't have that paint. Oh, you're dead, buddy. Oh, you're not. Okay. Do I want to follow him now? I do not. Alright, let's get out of here. Back to work. What the fuck's going on there? I've never seen dogs fight each other like that. Cool. The fox and the hound. I think there'd be a fox and a hound reference in here now that I'm thinking about
little
it. Like,
feller.
we should see
Hey, boy.
this guy playing with a fox. Every other fucking reference in this fucking thing.
You coming on, girl?
Doe, American doe, a deer, American doe deer. Where is this fucking eye, man? There we go. All right, we're in the eye. Let's get my radar right. All right, so we made it to the eye. We're gonna go stand in the eye. Standing in the water, middle of the eye, right? Because we're going to the centers. Had a fish with an eye. Found another fish with a big eye here. So we go to the center. When you stand in the center of it, it's pointing you right here. Right there. I didn't know that the first time I went here, though. I didn't realize it was pointing. Also, like, if you don't think it's an eye, too, like, look, stand here and watch my radar. Okay, it's an eye. Ammo. The whole radar is an eye right now. That's what I'm saying, right? A circle with, like, the eye shape in the middle. That's... can be more of an eye. What could be, but, you know. It's a pretty convincing eye. It's pointing right there. Right, but I didn't know that the first time. First time I came here, I was like, okay, an eye, cool. That's part of it, I guess. But I didn't know what to do with it. And I started walking across this thing, and I realized, like, oh, this is kind of like a bridge. It leads you to this other bridge. I now find myself between two bridges. Okay. So I just doubled down on the clues. I didn't know this the first time. I just found one clue, and I was following these loose strands. And that's why I'm sound so annoyed when I explain this shit, is because I keep coming back and I find more shit that doubles down on everything I say. And it's like, God damn motherfucking people, if you just listened to me the first time, you would have found all this shit. And I wouldn't come back here and be annoyed that other people aren't finding it. Because I just literally just followed one, right? Like, I was just following one trail of clues. But now I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, the fucking eye points to it. And then there's this double bridge thing. And then there's a bunch of other shit I'm probably missing. Like this log line here, I bet you get you over there somehow. Let's go back and figure that one out. Right, these burdock plants here, they lead you, their roots. Right, so you follow the roots and they lead you down there. This probably is something here that leads us over there somehow. Figure it out. So maybe it's like a roadblock. It points you. Oh, okay. Yeah, it kicks you back to the eye. Maybe you want to interpret this thing as like a finger. Here's the annoying part, is like John can't fucking make it over there, man. Arthur can make it over there like nothing, but John can't do it. We need to get our horse. Okay, so yeah, the eye points over there, then you get your double bridge. It leads you underneath them. The reason this is important too, like, no one's gonna fucking believe me, but... So the first time I came here, I'm going like, oh shit, I gotta search this whole fucking... I've told this story so many times, dude. Oh man, I gotta search this whole fucking bridge. After all the shit I just did, you guys are gonna make me search a whole fucking bridge? Goddamn motherfucking game. I'm not searching this shit. I guess this is over for me. This is where it ends. And then as I looked over here, there was a twinkle. Just a little twinkle right here where my crosshair is, my little dot. I saw a twinkle. It's the only way I can explain it. Like a ting, ting. I was like, oh man, what was that? And then as I got closer to it, I started to remember a Reddit post I'd seen a long ass fucking time ago. And it was somebody pointing out salt marks here. And they're the one who noticed, not me. That up there is New Austin. And this over here is like tall trees or something. And it's basically the border. So you have this here. You see the straight line, not a straight line, but there's like a, you know, a marking down there where it goes up, right? So there's like a line. And with this side. This one is harder to see, so I don't blame people, but you get like a cave, and I can see some like pine trees shapes in here. So that to me tells me it's not New Austin. And this one looks like New Austin. It's kind of like rocky and deserty looking. And they're split down the middle, right? Again, middles, centers. Right? Also, these are opposite too, right? New Austin is on the north side, Tall Trees is on the south side. It's mirrored. Mirrors are important. All right, so that's my next symbol, or sign, or clue, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, after the eye of the fish there that pointed us right to this fucking wall. Literally pointed to the wall. They are connected. Right. Coincidences, yes, they are. I agree with you. They are coincidences, but they are intentional coincidences that are part of the spider trail. So, fish. Find a fish on the rocks. Go back even farther, right? Two birds. Point us to two birds on a rock. Cowboy made of rocks. Point us to two birds on a rock. Lead us to turkey made of rocks. It's also two turkeys made of rocks. It's a hand turkey and a cooked turkey when you zoom out even farther. So, two birds. Between two birds that are at the river. Follow them to the end. They lead us to a gooseneck in the river. This thing here is a gooseneck, which brought us to a giant fish with a fish on the wall made of rocks. Sorry, not made of rocks. A fish made of salt on the rocks. Zoom out on that. We see a giant fish that matches the cigarette card on the map. We're in the eye of it. Right about here, we're in the eye of the cigarette card fish that is on the map. That fish, when you follow it around, leads you to another fish. And also, this fish, forgot to mention, also matches one of the cigarette cards. Not matches, but resembles. And when you stand in the eye of it, and the reason we stood in the eye of it is because this fish that we found on the rocks had a giant eye, and then we were in the eye of the fish on the map. So we want to, we're making our pattern here. So fish eye, fish eye, fish eye. We went to this fish eye, which pointed us to the border. Or the rocks, salt on the cement. That looks like the border, which matches salt on the rocks. That looks like a fish back here, right? So all the three clues connected us again to this one. Right? It's made of the same thing we found here. This is an eye of a fish on a map. Points us to the eye of a fish, which pointed us to the border, which is on the map. Right? Overlap everything again. Where do we go from here, guys? This is a tough one. How are we gonna figure this one out? Got a picture of a border.
Okay,
what the hell do you
Missy.
do with that? So fucking hard, man. This is one of the easiest ones. I'm being facetious, right? I got a picture of a fucking border. It was... Also, here's another thing. This is why you know it's a game about God and shit, right? Eagles. We wrote Eagles' Wings. That's a hymn that they're going to play at every funeral you've probably ever been to. Eagles' Wings. We took the leap of faith, went on our wild goose chase, and then God rewarded us with a big-ass fucking sign, right? Gave us a big-ass fish on the rocks that I showed you up here. Big sign. We got rewarded for our leap of faith. Right? We didn't know what the fuck we were doing, and then God rewarded us and gave us a big sign. And we zoomed out, he gave us an even bigger fucking sign. Right? And then, like God, he gave us a tiny sign. Because that's how the fucking shit works, right? We got like two nice big ones that make a lot of sense, and then we got like, is this fish? I don't know, maybe, kind of. Right? But when we got to it, we took our leap of faith because we weren't sure, and then we got to it, and it pointed us to a very obvious sign that is the border. Right? So you got to take some leaps, man. You got to take a couple leaps of faith, and then you wind up somewhere. And then you confirm this clue. Like, I don't know that this is my clue at this point. Like, I'm confident because of everything that happened, but I don't know that this border makes any sense until I get to the border and I find more fucking clues that connect me to my past clues. That's how the land surveillance works. That's how this game works, right? Land surveillance is math. This is just all the other shit you could possibly think of. There's got to be a shorter way. Yeah, let's just go right through. And sorry if I didn't get good enough shots of the border, but like, watch the other fucking videos, man. Go to the Reddit posts where other people found it years before me. All I did was connect some of the stuff. Like this next one I'm going to show you too. It was another one that I saw on Reddit before I ever found it. I probably wouldn't have found it if I hadn't seen the Reddit post years prior. Oh, because of that Reddit post, I got to the area and I was like, oh, I think that thing I saw is here. And then I found it. It was like, yes, it is here. I know what it means now. This light is distracting, eh? It's cool, though. Shitty. What time is it? Fuck, man, I gotta go in a bit. Let's try and get some more of this in here. Hope this is making sense for people. I just heard a cougar. I shouldn't hear cougars out here. Do you hear cougars out here? Wild. That's my other horse.
You're doing well. Look at you.
Yeah, let's get this car. You're right. You say dumb shit. Oh.
Good girl.
All right, we're back. Just try and remember between the two bridges. I think I gotta be over here. Is where I found it. Excuse me. All right, I was right. Haven't done this in a while. This one I did like 3 months ago, so it's kind of fresher now. But okay, so why am I coming here? So we were at our border. Our border was divided. We were connected by 2 bridges here, 2 bridges at the fish. We had to walk under the 2 bridges to get to the next sign. We found a sign between 2 bridges over here. Right, so 2 bridges. Also, guys, like, I wasn't even mentioning it before, but there's like 2 bridges here to get to Window Rock. And then you have to cross 2 bridges to get to the second pole symbol. Like, so you get your, like, west, go 6 poles or something like that. And then it's like, you have to cross 2 bridges to get to the next one. So anyway, 2 bridges, 2 bridges, 2 bridges, 2 bridges. So I figure I got to go to the border. I'm going to look for 2 bridges, and then I'm going to go to the middle, the center of them. That's how I ended up here. Right? There's a bridge there and a bridge there, and I knew I had to go to the border. And when I got to the center of the border, there's a bear. I found this dick. This dick on a rock here. And it was pointing that way. So I started looking for shit that way. I spent a lot of time going up this river. I thought maybe it was pointing here because I was like, this looks like a spider web. So maybe there's something in there. There's also a couple bridges here, right? There's one here and one here. I also thought maybe it was pointing me to this bridge. Maybe I'll find a symbol there because I found a symbol on my last bridge. But all that's too easy, guys. That's way too easy, right? If you think that's what you're going to do, it's probably not what you're supposed to do. So I came back to the rock because I couldn't find nothing. And when I came back to the rock, found another cock on this side of it. Right? Same exact fucking pattern, like little head, and then like an L shape connected to the head kind of thing, right? Making a dick. So that same symbol, and you see these all over the game, right? And they're all dicks. And I know dicks are a thing because we go back to the very, very beginning, right? Butcher's Creek. Watch the fucking other videos. And we got to Butcher's Creek from the ranch, from right here, because a dick made of clothespins points us to the pentagram. Right? So a dick started everything. Much like life, a hard penis got us started. And there might be more penises, but I forgot to mention this one too. So we had our giant fish here. Right? And I always knew this was a dick. See, here's a Diablo Rit. This 1 ball, this 2 balls. This is a dick. Everybody kind of knows this is a dick. I don't know anybody who's ever disagreed with that. We've known that from the beginning, I think. Right? And what's funny about the dick, though, is it's fucking this giant fish. It's pointing right at it. Now, for a long time, I thought this dick was distracting us. The dick was a distraction, like life. there's a hard penis and it's a distraction. But it was actually pointing to this giant fish. Right? Much like that symbol up there is pointing to the pentagram, pointing us to a symbol. This penis on the mat was pointing us to this giant fish. So we've had at least 2 penises so far before I find myself at this rock between 2 bridges that has 2 penises on it. Right? At the time, I thought this represented level 2 because the first penis at the pentagram, that was level 1. And then I got here and I found 2 penises. And I was like, oh shit, maybe this is level 2. Because I also know that there's other places in the game where you see 3 or 4 penises. So I was thinking like, oh shit, and then I'm going to end up in New Austin where those penises are. And then that'll be level 3. And then I'll end up like in the Rocky Mountains and that'll be level 4. Because I know there's 4 dicks up there. Like that's how I was thinking. And so at the time I thought this was level 2. And I still didn't really know what to do. But then I remembered my birds. So when we were up at Window Rock, I couldn't figure out what to do at Window Rock at first. Because we had one bird looking that way and one bird looking that way. And I was like, well, the guitars, everything pointed, right? Like your tally marks in a weird way pointed you to the fort. Because you know, in order to get 6 and 7, you had to go to the fort. So you kind of got pushed or pointed in that direction. Oil thing, right? Like you kind of go in a line to get the symbols. So you get your tower. Where the fucking oil thing? Here it is. So you get like, you start on the tower and then you work your way to the oil field and then you get the spider, right? So you kind of go in a line. You get your telephone poles and then you follow the telephone poles. Lead you to the guitar, and then the guitars lead you up here, and then the birds lead you, right? Like a line. I forgot why I was saying that. So yeah, I got 2 dicks on a rock. Oh, I remember why I was saying that now. So everything was pointing. All our symbols pointed to more symbols, and that's how we got to our next clues. And I had to think back to Window Rock, where we had a bird looking one way and a bird looking the other way. And we went to the middle of them. And the reason I finally realized I needed to go to the middle of them, and I finally ended up here, was because I realized that signs were arrows. Arrows point. I had one pointing that way and one pointing that way. So if you have arrows pointing in different directions, you want to go to the center. Right? You want to go to the middle of them. In a weird way, too, like with that bird was pointing that way and that bird pointing that way, they're, I think the term is a perpendicular, where they intersect. Is that the right word? So they weren't parallel. They're the other one, where they actually would connect. And that's where you find yourself, right? You're where the 2 points would connect. You're in the middle. And then you end up down here in the middle. Anyway, when you have arrows pointing in opposite directions, you go to the middle of them. So I know that penises are arrows because of Butcher's Creek. Then the map with the giant penis pointing to the fish, that's our symbol. We know penises point, and I have penises going in the different directions. So where do I want to go, man? I want to go straight ahead. Yeah, I want to go right down the middle of them. Now I find myself walking through water. Yeah. And I was just walking through water. I'm walking through fish, too, right? Fish clue. Right? There's no fish over there. There's no fish over there. There's fish right here where I need to walk. Why is he talking about the fish so much? Because our clues overlap, right? Fish. 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 Very next clue. I'm walking through water. Through fish. Sorry, the walking through water. Why is that important? First got to the eye, where I stood in the water. I walked to the end of the bridge, and then I walked through the water to get to my next symbol. Fish, water, double bridge. Walking through it. Okay? Everything, again, overlayered, connected. And as soon as I got here, I realized I'd seen this place before in a Reddit post. Many years before. Get musical cues. I line these trees up. So I get that tree behind there. In the center here. So see these trees too? See how they make a V? What was I just saying about perpendicular, right? And the birds. Right, we're at Window Rock, and I said the birds are perpendicular, and I was standing where the two lines would meet. I hope that word is right, man. I hope I'm using perpendicular right. I haven't thought of that word since grade 3. But yeah, so anyway, I just said it, and now I'm standing in front of trees that are also perpendicular, right? They're crossing. Also make an X, like X marks the spot. When you approach them and you line them up with the tree behind it, they make like a face, right? The sky, like eyes. The trees and the ones behind it and the tree two in front of me, they make lines that would be like a little triangle face. I got another video that demonstrates it a lot better, but you get musical cues when you line them up. Like you can walk away, come back, and do it, and every time you do, you get a little musical. But I think I've done it a million times now, and maybe. So yeah, we get these trees that look like Satan. Well, what do you do with that, man? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like I had all this fish and all this bird shit. Like, what do you do with trees? Does that connect me to anything? That doesn't connect me to anything. Oh wait, let's think back farther. How did we get to where we're at? Well, Butcher's Creek, tally marks, poles. Poles are kind of like trees. We ended up in the center of the spider. Emerald Ranch. Where's Emerald Ranch? There we go. All right, so we end up in the center of the spider. And this is why I keep saying this, guys. This is why it's so important that you watch my Center of the Spider video, is because there's alternate symbols, right? The trees and the plants, the herbs, point you to the exact same place that the spider web does, literally to the north telephone pole, the closest telephone pole north. If you go here and you watch my video, I'll teach you how to read the land. And the land is telling you the exact same thing, man. They spelt it out for you with that spider web, because even I wouldn't have gotten it. The only way I got it is because I reverse engineered it based on the spider web North Pole thing. But you could have given me 100 million years, I never would have probably figured out I need to go to the telephone pole. But that spider web spells it out for you, literally. It gives you the letter and a telephone pole. But if you just follow the plants, if you just go here and you collect herbs, you'll see a bunch of trees that line up like telephone poles. They cascade, and then another tree points to it, and you can deduce that you use the creeping time. The creeping time tells you to walk slowly, leads you to some Indian tobacco, and then as soon as you pick up the Indian tobacco, you find yourself in front of a tree that resembles a telephone pole. And then at midnight, the moon lines up with it, and it still looks like a telephone pole, but it also looks like a lamppost and a tree. It looks like all three of those things. And that's where you find your spider web. Coincidentally, the spider web that appears connected to the tree I'm speaking of. Okay, and I say coincidentally in jest. It's not a coincidence. What they're teaching you there are trees are symbols. Okay? And this is going to make me sound like a schizo, and I understand that, but that's where I realized it's God, right? We're following a trail from God. the spider. I don't know what the fucking spider is. I still don't fully know, but it's all the same thing, right? It's all the same people, but it's the trees were God, and God was pointing you out of the spider web, because you could do two things at that point too, right? Like you could either follow the North Telephone pole and follow the trail, or you could get obsessed with the fucking spider and the spider web and start chasing the shit in circles and getting tangled in the spider web, metaphorically. All right, so the trees here all pointed us to the North Telephone pole and a new symbol. And what I'm trying to say is that's where we learn trees can be symbols or signs. And now I'm standing in front of trees that give me musical cues when I line them up, and they look like a face of Satan. And you can actually, when you pause it, you do see it better, which is another mechanic, right? It's telling you to pause because you're going to see things. You're going to see more. I don't just mean literally pause. I mean like pause, like smell the roses kind of thing, right? See, like I get it. Not everybody can see it, but like there is a post. The only reason I knew it was here is because somebody else saw it way before I did. And when I started walking across that water, I realized I was here and I was going to see the same thing that I saw on a Reddit post. And I didn't know what it meant, but I was like, oh shit, that's our next symbol. And that's why that exists, and that's why it looks like that. All right, so this is your next symbol after the border. Walk down the center of the two dicks, cross the water, through the fish, overlapping all your clues. By the way, dicks on a rock, right? Cowboy on a rock, birds on a rock, fish on a rock, dicks on a rock. Walk through the water, through the fish, get to the trees. See, there's the music cues I'm talking about. And then you get to trees that overlap, take us back to the center of the spider. Now, yeah, it's a stretch, but I bet you, I haven't done it, but if anybody would like to do the math, I bet you there's some sort of mathical equation here, right? Like the fifth stall at Butcher's Creek was on the edge, and then 4 or 5 clues later, we found birds on a ledge, and I bet you there's a pattern or a sequence there. And it's probably even connected to that twat in the fucking outhouse that shouts out those numbers all the time. Probably has something to do with her fucking numbers, right? And you can get obsessed with that, and you can try and figure it all out. And I bet you there's something there, man. I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I'll put some money on it that that lady connects to the shit I'm saying here, and those numbers connect to the shit I'm saying here. So we're like 5 or 6 clues ahead from the spider web, the center of the spider, and we're back to trees, right? Like that's why I'm saying the Butcher's Creek one, right? The Butcher's Creek, the 5th stall is on the edge. You go 4 or 5 clues ahead, you find clues on an edge. Nothing before that was on the edge, right? Just that 5th clue and then the birds, right? We had our trees in the center of the spider. We go 4 or 5 clues ahead. Now we have trees that make us face Satan, right? First time we saw God, now we're seeing Satan made of trees. 4 or 5 clues later. Okay, so that's the reason I'm saying that. It's like that's how it works, man. It's like you get a bunch of shit that connects, and then you get one that like you have to stretch back to like a bunch of clues before and connect it to that stuff. And that's like a classic video game again, right? Your Zelda, your Link, you use your fucking boomerang, then you get your next tool, your arrows or something, and then you're just using arrows, and you forget about the boomerang, and then you get to a dungeon like 4 or 5 levels in, and you have to use the boomerang, right? But you kind of forgot because you hadn't used it in like 4 or 5 levels. So that's what's happening here, right? We're using our trees. I know it's the next clue because we've used trees before. So we've just gone 4 or 5 levels ahead and we're using our trees again. Right? What do you do with the trees? Okay, I don't know. I was looking all around the map. I thought maybe the trees matched a symbol, like intersections of a road or something. Eventually, I landed on this guy. So I was like, this guy to me looks like the trees that I'm looking at. Right? It's like triangle shapes here. If you flip them upside down, this would be like the eyes that I'm talking about. Section right here underneath his arms. It's also got like this always looked like somebody giving a peace sign to me, but it could also be a bird or something on his chest. Anyway, it's the same shape. It's got horns, and it kind of resembles this thing in front of me that I'm looking at. Also, I thought that might be the next clue. So, like I say, I don't know it's the next clue, right? Like I'm taking a leap, and then I have to go there, and I have to connect it to like the clue after that in order to make this clue make sense. Right? Does that make sense what I'm saying there? So the border makes absolutely no sense. You find the border on its own, it makes no fucking sense. But because we were led there by a giant eye of a fish, led there by a fish and landed in a fish and landed on the eye, and then the eye pointed us right to the border. That's how we kind of knew it was the next clue, because that's a hell of a fucking coincidence to do all this weird shit that I was doing and then find something that looks like the border, right? So we don't know, but the coincidences are so huge that it's like, what the fuck's happening here, kind of thing. Let's investigate. Right? And then that led us here to between our two bridges, and we find our two dicks on a rock, like our two birds on a rock. We find now two dicks. And that led us to our trees, which connected us to our trees back there, and then reminded me of this shit up here. Right? The other reason I thought this was the next clue is because this didn't mean anything in the game, right? Like this is just one of those random places you find that you get a mask from, but like nobody really knows why it's there or why it exists. People say it's cut content. People say it's to add like ambiance, but it's like after the shit I'd been doing, like finding the giant cowboy made of rocks and realizing that was connected to everything. It's like, oh, okay, well, all this stuff that isn't connected to anything, maybe it connects to things. And I knew there was all this symbolism there, and these like, yeah, I didn't know exactly what was there because I hadn't been there in a while, but I was like, oh yeah, that place had all that shit in the writing and some sort of drawings and stuff. So I'm like, after I learned all this stuff by getting here, I was like, maybe that's my next clue. Maybe this guy's my next clue, and maybe I can make sense of some of this shit. Right? Because nobody's really ever made sense of any of it. So I was like, maybe that's why it's never made any sense, is because you have to do all the shit I just did. So when I get there, maybe I'll know what the fuck it means. That was cool. I didn't mean to do that. So we're gonna head there. And you see musical cue when I line up these trees here. This is the clue. This is part of the spider trail. Now, here's another point I want to make. I say this like I'm right, and I say it confidently because I am right. But also, I could be not wrong, but like there could be other paths, man. Because one thing that's always been bugging me is like it kept pushing me south and pushing me south and pushing me south, and it pushed me all the way here, and then I ended up over here. But I was like, I bet you there's a way to interpret everything I just said and keep going south. I don't know how or what, but I ended up here. But that's what I say, multiple paths, right? It's like it's all I'm doing, man. I'm finding the centers, I'm finding clues that overlap, and then I'm finding reasons And yeah, I'm totally being biased. That's part of it, right? You're confirmation bias for sure. 100%. That's how you have to do it though. You also have to confirm once you get there, right? So like in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm killing it. I'm kicking ass. That's probably my next clue for all the reasons I just said. So I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna find a clue, and then I'm gonna find my next clue. Like if if I had somebody with me on this ride going like, no, man, that symbol doesn't look like that symbol, or it looks more like this or that, and it's like they're also right, right? So we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. If I was sitting here with somebody else doing this with a partner or something, we fucking wouldn't have done it. It's we would just argued about what clouds look like. All right, next stop.
You'll be okay.
All right, going for a ride. there a moose here? Sometimes you get a moose here. Shit, it looks like something big over there. No, it's just a waterfall. Caribou, no moose today. Still call them caribous, man. They're elks. What's wrong with me? Alright, so we gotta get to our Satan head thing here. Don't want to disturb any of this right now. I don't think he's there though. He's a little more this way. Just where the drawing is. I believe. I might be wrong. I think I'm wrong. Let's go back. Whoa. Here's some. Yeah, okay, here it is. Alright, we're here. So, what happened when I got here? Well, this thing happened. I forgot there was a torso here, and I was like, there's just a stick. Why is there just a stick here? That's fucking weird. The goat's heads reminded me of Butcher's Creek. This guy reminded me of a spider, right? He's got like these two front things. And he's got 6 back here, 3 there, 6 and 8. So it's like a spider. So I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be here. This is connected because I got a goat and I got a spider. So Butcher's Creek and the spider web. I didn't know what the fucking pole was. I forgot about the torso and the mask. This all reminded me of a weather vane. I got another video where this is, I know what all of this is, but that was much, much later. So at the time, after coming here from the border, my Satan tree, I got weather vane because of this guy. And this whole thing looked like a weather vane to me. I didn't know at the time too that you can find this pretty much the same symbol in the swamps. If I had known that, I probably would have just gone right to the swamp and try and find like a trail there. And again, multiple trails. I didn't take that route. What I got from this was I zoomed out on my map to try and figure out what the fuck to do. And I realized I was on the opposite. I've been mirroring things, right? Like we did, mirroring. And we started. Yeah, and I thought I was on level 2 because of here. So like, if this was, say the ranch with the clothespins, and they pointed me over to this guy, which would have been like, the pentagram that you find at Butcher's Creek. So I was like, maybe I'm kind of mirroring that, sort of. So like, the dicks over there pointed me from the ranch. The dicks pointed me to the pentagram, which brought me to Butcher's Creek. And I found all the tally marks. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm mirroring that, maybe it points me up here to Satan, aka the pentagram, the devil. And from the devil, I went to civilization. So maybe I'm going to Strawberry. So that's how I deduced I should go to Strawberry. And I went to Strawberry to find my next clues. I was, at the time,
Come on, then.
mentality, and this is where everybody's fucking up, myself included for a long time, is I was looking for tally marks, right? Like I kept thinking things were going to repeat. Nothing repeats, except for the 2 birds. but they're like, the 2 birds are a constant symbol, like a sign that you see everywhere to remind you and connect everything over and over and over and over. It's like, oh, you doubt this is a sign because you just took such a huge leap of faith, and this one doesn't really feel connected. And then you're like, oh, bam, there's two birds right beside it. This has got to be the sign. Right? So two birds is like a staple. It's another reason everybody kind of disagrees and argues about it. It's like they are everywhere, and they are all connected to the trail. You're all right when you say that. All of you. You see two birds somewhere and you think it's part of something, you're 100% right. And the people who disagree with you and see two birds elsewhere are on a different trail. And we're off to Strawberry. I got a long video on Strawberry, so I'll try and condense it. I might even just cut it off here, because... Hey, please like and subscribe, everybody. I never say that. Yeah, I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to get 500. That'd be cool. 500 subs, I mean. Yeah, I don't know if I have time to do Strawberry right now. I might have to do Strawberry. From Strawberry, we go to the face trees to the whale bones. That then God gives us the Red Arabian. The Red Arabian, we find another dick. The dick points us to the lake. From the lake, this is the hard one. I don't know if I'm gonna recreate it, but when I was standing at the lake, I looked at the clouds, and in the clouds, I saw another cigarette card. And I figured I need to go where I find that cigarette card, and that cigarette card led me to the opposite side of the map. Oh, in Strawberry, we're gonna break through the wall, and it's gonna lead us to the face trees. The video I got on Strawberry, this is going to be a condensed version. Yeah, I might as well, I'm going to have to cut it off here. Because I can't make this a condensed version. I got to explain Strawberry, man. I can't just be like, you just go to the jail, then the wall looks like a face. You got to see all the reasoning behind it. I got to explain the centers, and how the jail is the center, how this is called. So I'm talking about centers, and center this, center that. And I find myself in Strawberry. Stop pointing at him, man. Pointing up there.
Dear God.
What does that say, though? Right? Centers, man.
Shit, no!
Welcome. It's like, am I doing the right thing? Is this really a game I'm playing? Am I following a trail of centers? And I got the Strawberry. Welcome, center. Is this really a trail of vague deja vu coincidences that go to high points and go to centers and involve the map and a ton of weird ass wordplay? I don't know. Welcome, center.
What a girl you're becoming.
Are we playing a game about centers? Welcome. Center. Is wordplay a thing? Center. That's not where we find our clue. See this over here? This place of death. It's where things end, right? Where you hang somebody, they die. End of life. The end. Goodbye. Goodbye, center. It's like death, right? See how the death? It's dark, decrepit. Old shitty wood, the horns. Over here. Welcome, center. Welcome. Thank you. That's so warm and inviting of you, man. You're so friendly. Man, this place is so chill. It's so warm. It's cozy fire. This nice wallpaper, this rug, all this velvet. Even these animals, man, they look so nice and warm, welcoming, full of life, even though they're dead.
You're very kind.
So over there, death, life, beginning, welcome, start, beginning, end, death, center, a middle, something in between the two opposites. It's a jail, like a purgatory, like a gray area between the two opposites. Okay. You know where else we saw something like that? Found our fish between Lucky's cabin, Downs Ranch. Born unlucky, right? Born with Downs. Born lucky. Cabin. Little cabin. Ranch. Big property. Big ranch. Right? We found it right in the middle. In the center. Maybe we'll find a clue in here.
Is there something wrong with your
Don't mind
head?
me.
Damn.
No, we're good. Is there anything in here? Alright. Well, I got a big detailed video of how I finally found this fucking thing. Oh, shit. Let me in there. Alright. One thing I'll point out, though, before I point that out. Tally marks. Right. Yes, they are days. Representing the days the prisoners were here, I'm sure. But they're also tally marks, so they connect us back to Butcher's Creek. Rocks, right? We got rocks in the wall. Right? All our clues, rocks, nature. Last couple were trees, but there was also rocks at that little site we were at that made the spider thing. Goat head was resting on. So rocks have been a big part of everything. So I came here and I stared at this for a while. Not even for a while, like right away, pretty much. I saw a face. I saw an old man's face. Now I see a whole bunch of different shit, man. I see a rabbit and I see a snake, and like I can't even see the old man face anymore. It was 6-7 months ago, and I've looked at a lot of images since, and I've been the game kind of trains you to see different things when you need to see different things, and I don't see the face anymore. Back then, I saw a face, and the face reminded me of another face I'd seen. We were just here, and we went to Strawberry. The face I saw on the rocks reminded me of one of these guys. I think it was this guy and this guy. It reminded me of these double guys. Now I'm looking at it, it kind of reminds me of this guy. Just looking at it right now. So, yeah, it could be like made up of all of them, right? I don't know. This guy even kind of looks like a clock, eh? Doesn't even look like a face. Looks more like an alarm clock. Whatever. That's not what I was talking about, though. So, yeah, I'm looking at this wall, and it's reminding me of a face. I'm also thinking about window rock. Right? Rock through a window. Break through the window like a rock through a window. We break through the wall with mica. Maybe I need to go through the wall. Save you the long explanation of how I did go directly through it, because I thought I was supposed to go down this river maybe, and I was looking for shit down here. Yeah. But that's too vague. I've said this in another video too. Like, if you just have a direction and you don't really know what you're looking for, you're probably lost the trail. Maybe you could pick it up again if you get lucky, but like, at one point I was like, okay, I got to go through the wall, so I'm looking for something downriver here, and that's not enough, man. It's like it's huge area, and I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm fucked. So I came back and I like deduced that the face looked like these trees. I started looking at stuff on the map, and I figured it looked like these trees or something. I can't remember my exact reasoning, to be honest. But the second time I came to it, I connected it to these trees. And I also thought, like, okay, it kind of makes sense because I'm zigzagging. Like, that's Rockstar style. Like, I'm going to, like, oh, you're going to go here, then you 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 go here, 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 and here, and then here, here, and here, and here, and over to here, no, here, and here, and here, right? Kiflam. So I was like, okay, so that's what they're teaching me. I'm going to be zigzagging. So maybe I need to go back to these faces. And that's where I went next. Right back to where I just was, pretty much. That was after, like, I just saved you guys, like, 3 days of bullshit that I spent wandering around this town, figuring stuff out. I know all sorts of shit about this town, man. Hey, as far as, like, what stuff means and why it's placed here, and you could literally teach a whole class about it. Or a course, is what I meant to say. I'm gonna jump on my horse. I'm gonna autopilot on over there, and then that's probably it for this stream. And I'm gonna restart it. Pick up from the face trees, because I might even have to switch back to Arthur, because I want to show you the journal entry that he made it for it when you do it with Arthur. Because when you do it, at least when I did it with Arthur, the journal entry, man, it like all pointed and made sense. It's like a story. It's like, what are these trees trying to tell me? I don't know anything, if anything, or something like he's asking a question. And then what they were telling him is to go to the center, and the center will point you to the whale bones. And then he draws the whale bones, and then the whale bones pointed me directly to a horse. And then the next horse Arthur draws, he draws it in a way in the journal that the whale bones point right to this magnificent drawing he does of a horse. And I've gotten different horses with him, and he did the same drawing both times. Like, one time I got a Nakota, and one time I got a Thoroughbred, and both times he drew the same horse. So it's like, I don't know if anybody's ever realized that. I never realized that. The drawings aren't necessarily dependent on the animal, because he draws tons of horses. He draws all sorts of horses in his journal, but when you do them, whatever horse you draw after the whale bones, he draws the same picture. At least of the Thoroughbred and the Nakota. And what I'm going to try and get here with John when we do it is the Red Arabian. And the reason I want to get the Red Arabian is because that's the first horse I got by following the trail. And that's the first time I realized that the horses were gifts, and they were placed in certain areas along the trail, like the rarer horses were. And I had just been figuring out that I was following this Native American Dream Quest thing within the game, and I knew that that was called the Red Road. So then when I came across the Red Arabian that I didn't even know was in the game, it blew my fucking mind, man. It's like, holy shit, this is all... There's another coincidence, right? Like, but anyway, looks like we're here. It would be nice to get this all in one, man. What time is it? Alright, I gotta go though. That'll be where the next video picks up. Maybe I'll just leave it running and then I'll. Yeah, I would really like to get this part into one video. That would be nice. Because after this part, we're going to jump all the way to the other side of the map. But either way, I got to leave this running, stream, and I'll make up my mind when I get back. And sorry for anybody who decides to watch and wonder why I'm not actually playing. Love you guys. Like and subscribe or something. Thanks. Appreciate you. All right, we're back. Face rocks. Excuse me. Off your horse. There we go. Something to eat. Face rocks or face trees. Where are you? Okay. Face trees. Get to the face trees. Let's see what the journal says too. Take a while. Yeah, where it's gonna be. I did a John journal. That's why this looks like shit. If you're not watching the live stream and you're watching a video, this will be edited out. Lucky you. What was that? It's like stockings. Wow, man, all John drew was their feet. The shittiest tree there. Skeleton looked like Arthur's. There. Alright. Found these spaces out in Big Valley. Wonder what they meant. So, Arthur writes something like this, but it's a little different. It's like, I wonder what they were trying to tell me. What they're trying to tell him is go to the center. You find yourself in the center of the two that look the same. Right? It's two mirrors. Someone's mirroring that one. You look ahead. You go forward. To another center. Center of these two faces. Keep going. See, they can't carry boogies. I just heard a horse, man. Who's that guy? It's in Dakota. It's not who we're. So anyway, we're going straight. I just heard the horse, so I got distracted. But we were going straight, and we end up at the whalebones. The whalebones. Follow them. Any point. This way. Oh, what was that horse? Did you hear that horse? Sounded close. Really? Is he right there? He ran away? Yeah, he was. The whalebones pointed us to this guy, right? This path too, it's red. I don't know, they're normally low, like yellow. This one's red. Who's that guy? Who is that? Holy shit, an Arabian. So I just followed the path of God, took these huge leaps of faith. And for the most part, I was walking too. And so I've been walking like the whole journey for the most part. I need to get a horse, man. I'm never going to catch him. So I just got rewarded with the fucking red Arabian. That, at the time, a horse I didn't even know was in the game. Where'd you go? God damn. Should grab that one.
All right, girl.
That's on him. That's on him.
Okay, okay. Don't be like that.
Use red trail.
Whoa!
Fuck, John, get on him.
Stop! Come on! No, you don't. See? Not so bad, eh?
Pretty fucking cool, huh?
Calm yourself.
So all that bullshit I go through, and I ended up on this horse I didn't know existed. I'm not saying he was like a secret horse or anything, but it was like all I ever knew was the white and the black at this point. And to a lot of horse research. I want to see his stats. Pretty sick though.
All right.
So from here, this isn't where I